Now, how do I get a...
Welcome to
Live
at the
live staff for Guins and Ros on Friday.
afternoon.
Good to see you.
Hey, we got visitors.
We've got some great guests today. We've got the two of the most well-spoken, mature young ladies.
Beautiful young ladies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very
It's all right, you don't have to fix your hair. You look beautiful.
We've got Leanne Patrick joining us already. Look at
Hi,
that.
Leanne.
Now, girls, actually, I don't even know your name. My name's Anton.
I'm Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Kalani.
Kalani, what a beautiful name. How about you two girls come around here
Come
and
round the
join
back, girls.
Guins and Ros on a Friday, aren't
And Dad's here, but he's
And
shy.
Dad's thinking about cycling tomorrow morning,
Morning.
as I am too. So we've got Chelsea and Kalani.
Hello.
Now, girls, talk us through it. So you girls are 13 and 15, right?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Do you get on?
Yes.
Oh, no, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? If you would have asked my brother and me that when we were over, we would have just found anything.
So 13 and 15.
Yes.
13 and 15.
And you go to state high school, obviously.
Yes.
And right, so, sure. And, yes. Now, are you here for the play tonight?
Yes.
Are you performing?
No.
You have to be performing. Yeah.
They have
No, we
teachers.
actually-
They're coming to watch teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers are in the play,
And
aren't they?
best friends, yeah.
So
Best
anything
friends.
goes is on there's 4 shows, you
We're
said.
coming. Are you
Yeah.
coming?
And
Yeah.
anything goes 4 shows over the weekend, I
I
think.
think there's 4 nighttime ones, and I think there's 1 or 2 matinees on the weekend.
Right.
Okay, awesome. So there's still tickets available.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
So Ros and I do this, and you've met Anton and Ros now. So we do this every Friday. So we'd love to know just from you girls, like it's a bit of a tough world out there now. It's a bit different than when we were growing up. It was pretty easy when we were growing up. No social media,
Yeah.
so no one get to say anything nasty about you. And if you did something when you were out, no one knew, which was really cool. You could keep it secret. Mum and Dad didn't even find out until someone saw us and they told them. When I got like earrings and stuff and smoked in public.
And nowadays, nothing's a secret.
No, nothing.
So talk us through it, girls. What does what's it like being a teenager? Why don't we start with you?
Annoying because because there's like, I don't know. It's just everything's on social media these days,
Yeah.
and it's just really easy to have bad things said about you. Like I personally know someone who's getting bullied really bad
Wow.
on social media right now. So. Like,
What do we do about that kind? What's the secret? What's the answer?
Honestly, I don't know because I've never gotten bullied on social media, so I'm not sure. But you can like block people and report people and make your account private and stuff.
So take ownership of it.
Yeah.
Right? That
is great. Really
that is
good
great
advice.
for everyone out there watching
Really
this,
good
especially if you're a
advice.
teenager or if you've got teenagers, play them this video. Take ownership, team, and brush those people and get them out of your life, Kalani. Yeah.
It's also lots of people get bullied and then they stay on there because they want to see what people say. Honestly, if that happens, you just have to turn it off.
So they're enabling the bullies to keep bullying them by not
'Cause,
blocking them.
Yeah.
I understand the want to still be on there and talk to people, but sometimes it's not worth it when you see the emotional hurt that they're going through.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How mature is that from a 15?
That is really. And so you are taking the bully's power away by not allowing them to have contact with you anymore.
Yeah.
So that's really smart
Now,
advice.
how's this poor girl going that's been bullied? Is she hurting emotionally?
I think so because she's a friend of a friend, so I've just heard the story
Secondhand,
through
yeah.
my friend,
Yeah,
and she does talk about it quite a lot and how she is hurt by it. It's
Oh, you'd have to
pretty
be,
bad.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So at school nowadays, because we didn't have social media when we were your age,
Thank God.
so does the school address those things and talk to you and teach you how to, as a group, how to deal with bullying or?
They
Well,
do.
Not if you tell them they do, but if you don't tell them, they can't.
They
They don't know,
If
and
they
they
don't know,
can't
they
do
can't help.
anything about
Yeah,
it.
that's
Right.
why in the
Yeah.
past I've had friends that have been bullied either in real life or online, and I just said, tell your teacher, because everyone's like, oh, don't be the dibber dobber, but there are situations where I've said that and they've gone to the teacher and the teacher stopped it because they have.
Really?
Do you think the
Yeah.
concern for the person that's being bullied comes from if I tell on them that it'll get worse?
Yeah.
Yes, but the
that's like
school,
my
especially
friend.
state, has zero tolerance. So
Wow, that's
It-
really good to hear.
Isn't
So
that
I
nice that you can trust your teachers?
yeah,
like
I do
that?
honestly. Like my K class teacher, she's like my school mom. She said that since
Oh,
day
right.
one.
She's your
So,
skill mum. Isn't
yeah.
that beautiful?
So I
That's
tell
nice that-
her lots of things that, or anything that's going on. I'm like, hey, this is happening.
So do they have consequences if they find out someone is bullying someone online? They have consequences and they deal with that?
I believe so. Online, I think they can still do things. We also have the police officer, so if it's actually really bad things, or if it happens often enough, there have been times when the police had to get involved.
That's great. Gladstone State High is quite good.
They're
for that, I
market
think.
leading, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, and they also have all of the guidance counsellors and
Right.
everything, so they talk to you as
You can go and ask them some questions and say,
Yeah.
how should I deal with this?
Yeah, and then
Right.
they also ask you questions to help you deal with it as well.
Yeah.
So
And-
that's really good.
And I
as
suppose
well.
give you some guidance and,
Yeah.
and like turn your social media off. Like don't be around this person. Like go and
Yeah.
tell someone about it. Like all that sort of stuff that you can do to take some power back. Right?
Yeah.
So do young people your age vocalise within your friendships groups or with people at school to say that you don't tolerate that behaviour? Like do kids talk about that now? They don't like people who bully, or do you feel like sometimes if we speak up they'll start bullying us? Is there like
My group of friends and I, we're pretty tight knit. So you mess with one of us, you basically mess with all of us.
Yes,
Wow,
all of my
that's good.
friends. Yeah.
So we've got the hack
yeah,
going.
so
Yeah.
so that's a big support network for you, obviously.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're going to play this to them tonight? You're going to show them? You're gonna share it on your
They
socials?
know. Like one girl, she moved here recently, and she suffered horrible bullying her
Wow.
entire high school, and but we're here. We're like we're not like that here, and so she's admitted to us. She's like, it feels just so freeing to be friends
Wow.
with you
Yeah.
because the whole time she had to be someone else so that she wasn't constantly bullied, and even then
so amazing.
felt
So
like
she can
crap.
be herself around you and not be scared of being bullied.
And good on
Yeah.
you, sweetie. for
Yeah,
actually,
definitely.
You know, creating that environment. That is so good.
Absolutely, and for
Now,
making her feel welcome and
I'm going to put.
make her feel comfortable being herself.
Holy shit, Nick Partridge, how you can block and oh, sorry,
Oh, hey,
sorry,
guys.
team, we're looking this way. So,
Yeah, we can't even see who's on. Hey,
Leanne,
what's up,
Brady,
Brad? Oh.
Melissa Odell,
Margot, Desley's
Margot,
on.
runner,
Hey, Jodie,
Leslie, Jodie,
Ange,
and-
Nick, John.
where's Nick?
John's
Oh, Nick doesn't
great.
work here anymore.
Sandy,
she's somewhere.
Robert.
Swarbrick,
Oh,
where's
and also
Swarbrick?
block and report any bullying on also. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
On
Nick's
all your-
agreeing
on all
with
your
you. Yeah,
socials.
yeah.
Now, here's another strong woman who I love dearly. Is,
Oh, Madeline.
Maddie,
hey.
remember Maddie
Yeah,
we talked to
Madeline.
the other
Yeah,
day?
we did. We
Now,
talked
if
to
I
her on
enter
the
that,
live.
does that mean that's going to come up? I can't-
That was at prom, wasn't it? We
It
talked to
was,
Maddie at
it
prom.
was. She had a
Yeah.
brother at prom or something.
Chris Tames on.
Now, I'm going to put out just a bold prediction. I'm going to put out now Connie, Chelsea. I want to make a bold prediction here in front of Dad that I'm going to hire one of these two girls one day. That's a bold prediction.
Do you need a chef? Because this one can cook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
There you go. In our chef, I'm telling you.
Right.
They were just talking about what she makes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. What
Thai
do you-
green curry and beef and broccoli and
You're hired. on that.
Kimchi pancakes.
yeah. So
Wow,
yeah,
is that right?
Dad likes it.
Yeah, Dad's
Mum and Dad love it.
Carb loading tonight. Carb loading tonight before a ride. No, I don't know yet. Too much.
So the last few weeks and
Yeah.
over the course of the year that we've been doing the videos, we've been talking about happiness.
Yeah.
So do you think at your age you struggle to find happiness because of the pressure on you from the society and social media?
Can I ask you just a different question? Instead of saying struggle, like how happy are you? Like
What makes you happy
what
and
makes
how
you
do you
happy in
find
life as a
happiness?
teenager?
The new sport that we picked up is helpful.
Yeah.
That because we finally set it up.
Can I
at
grab your
home.
phone off you again? Could you just fire that up? Because I need to show everyone out there in Facebook Live land what this sport that you found is. They hang this thing. Lira. What is it called?
A lyra or
Lyra.
aerial.
Is that the name of the sport? A lyra? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Or is that what
aerial
the-
hoop.
Aerial hoop. So
Yeah,
they hang this.
just
Oh.
show it to the
Yeah,
screen.
could you? If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, hold it up.
So this is Chelsea.
Oh wow!
with
Look
the-
at that.
And apparently Dad does this sport too.
He likes to practice with us
This is
sometimes.
with you.
Actually, that you'd have to be fit to do that. It's
Yeah,
sort of like
you
a
do.
gymnastics sort of.
flexible too.
It
Oh,
takes a
look
lot
at
of
that.
arm strength and core and leg strength.
And what the girls are saying is that if you watch the back of their knees, they've showed me the bruises and the
Yeah, wow.
Oh, messages.
And
messages coming up.
Yeah.
too.
So,
This
do you
is
do
live.
that through the school?
No,
So
this
you do that.
is.
Where do they do that in
Or
Gladstone?
did Dad find this, or how did you get onto the sport?
So my friend did it, and then so they do it at Fizzy Pole. So normally you have like pole dancing and things,
Yeah.
and then that's its sport, and then you have aerial hoop, and then aerial silks. So generally aerial hoop and silks are together, but we don't
Is that
have.
the cloth where they?
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
somersault and okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
pink
amazing.
Amazing.
concert.
Look at this.
Yeah, pink concert.
Thanks to the information that you're sharing, girls. Brave, courageous, inspirational. Love
It
your work.
is.
See that?
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Just do this for me. What I want you to seriously trust me. Just put your arm up like this, and Just give yourself a pat on the back. That is good. Can I swear in front of them? Have you ever heard the word shit before? Good dad.
They'll teach you things you've never heard of.
I'm sure. Because that's really good shit.
So sport, obviously, any sort of sport can help
Yeah.
get you to make you
Yes.
happy, and it's something that, and physical, like being physical and active.
Yes,
is-
I personally enjoy working out every morning. Like
She's
I
sick.
Oh, really?
At 5 a.m. for an hour.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sleeping at that time. Like,
And then does she come home and cook breakfast because she's such a good cook?
Yeah. Oh, does she? Oh,
no, she just does in her room.
Yeah.
How she hasn't
I
woken
just,
me up
like,
yet, I don't
Put a
know.
little yoga mat down and just
Do
turn
your
on the
thing.
TV
Oh, good on
and
you.
have a workout video.
13.
Yeah. Just playing on.
Wow, how self-motivated is that at 13? Well done, that's great. That's great.
Well, girls, you girls have just been absolutely amazing.
Very
We just
inspiring.
really thank you so much for coming and thanks for joining us today. It's
Thank
been
you.
amazing.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
And
Good on you,
I'm
champion.
coming over for
Great
dinner
job.
one night if you're
Thanks for
cooking that
allowing
stuff.
us to talk to these beautiful young ladies. So you're great.
4:45 HJs. Tomorrow morning.
Probably, maybe, or Kirkwood. I'll be out somewhere. No, I will. I just got a try coming up, so I've got to just do some regular on a try bike instead of the roadies.
All right. Have a wonderful
Thanks,
night.
guys. No
Girls.
worries. Thank you,
Hey,
girls.
hey, girls, can you share this for me and get the message out there? 'Cause I
Yeah,
think
share it on your, go on
share it
to
on your
Anton's
socials.
page.
Dad knows my name, Anton Guinea. It's on my shirt here. So just see if you can find it because I just love that message and I think that's going to resonate with other kids your age. You might
And
save
it's
a
great
life,
coming
might
from you
save some
directly.
bullying.
Yeah,
You just
definitely.
spoke so well. So
Yes.
thank you.
Well done, girls.
Good on you. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks. See you.
See you, girls. Right.
How
Jody,
inspiring is
Isn't
that?
that amazing? I'm
Yeah.
going to hire both of them.
It is
One
very,
day.
very hot, very, very good to hear
But didn't
from
they
some
speak
grounded,
well?
young. Oh, and they
I
do.
don't think I know
We were
13 or
talking here
15
for a
year olds
while
that can
before.
speak.
That's why we were a bit late. Actually, we were talking before the live
Yeah.
with them, and come from a brilliant, beautiful family.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
just
And a good cyclist.
oh yeah,
Big
they're,
fan, right, football.
well, yeah, and
Okay.
they're both the girls' parents. are
Well
just
brought up
beautiful
young
people.
ladies.
They are
Powerful message from
extremely well.
relatable teens. Isn't it? Thanks,
They are
Melissa.
very, and you know what? They're the
We
sort
can
of
relate
they're
to
the sort
them.
of teenagers that we need to speak up because people
They-
will listen to them.
Imagine
They
if,
speak well and they have a really good point.
like you and I doing this sort of stuff, right? We're sort of old and a bit knocked around. Imagine them two girls.
Speak
out
for
there.
yourself.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You're in your 20s. I'm a bit
20.
old.
What did we say?
But
23.
23. What I'm saying is, you imagine if we could get them to do this work
Mm.
at starting at 15.
Yeah.
Holy shit, they would change
And how
the world.
self-motivated that
That little,
yeah, she's
Kalani. What a great name.
Kalani cooks like she
What a
just
great
off
name.
her own back.
Just gets up
Ryan was
every
just telling me
5
that she just comes in and makes up her own recipes, and just makes dinner and yeah. So
That's like Zach Guinness.
Yeah.
Zach Guinness is a good chef too. but
amazing.
He was forced to because he doesn't like Dad's cooking.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not allowed to cook.
Well,
I'm
that's
literally
good. If
not
you
allowed
don't
to
like
cook.
what's put in front of you,
That's
go
right,
make
go
your own.
make your own. And it means I don't have to now. Hello, Melissa
Hey,
Lindsay.
Craig and Melissa.
Great Palmer.
Thanks
There's
for
a blast
joining
from
us.
the past.
We just actually, that was a very impromptu little
Oh,
start to
yeah.
our live today because the girls were
Beautiful
here.
girls.
They are, and they're coming to see the show tonight at the Entertainment
So I'll
Centre.
see them tonight, Lee and Patrick. How amazing are those two young ladies? Awesome.
They are.
Let's
They're
empower
really
those
empowered.
ladies.
Yeah,
Sky's the
definitely.
limit. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you and I need to be their agent.
Yeah.
We need to put them on
Oh,
the world stage
honestly,
sort of thing
just-
and just because they're ready to just
What
get a
great
message
kids
out.
to have around your kids. Like,
Oh, I
you know, at
know.
school. Imagine if
Just
you had
in the
children
world.
and your kids had friends like that.
Just
those
in the
girls,
world.
you know.
Just put them out in the world and
Yeah.
let them do their thing. Jason Hartwell, Emerald, owns a big
Oh,
truck with
Jason.
Queensland colours on it.
Jason.
Like State of Origin colours.
Yeah, you said that.
Mm.
He's a bit of a
Right.
powerhouse out
He's
in
a
Emerald.
power.
So.
I think he owns
Now,
it.
did you copy this link?
Yes, if you
Have
go
you
up.
pasted it yet?
You sure have. No.
No?
So if you
Oh,
just-
wait. What have I done? Oh, I'm going
There
to
it
touch
is there,
the
so it's
screen.
there.
Oh, you put it on. Okay.
Yeah.
So Anton previously posted the link for the video we talked about last week. And I
Will Smith.
just recapping on last week, I have to say, never, ever in our whole time of doing this have I had a response to a live compared to last week.
Shit.
So
What happened?
last
Talk me
week
through
we
it.
spoke about asking, what do you invest in your relationships? And, I went through the Married at First Sight phenomenon. And whether you love it or hate it, with the amount of viewers, a
Not a
million
big fan.
viewers every night, it's sucked people in. And ironically, last week we spoke about the 5 love languages, and I posted the link to the book. And in one of the episodes this week, one of the couples was sitting on the beach, and she pulls out the
the
book
5
and
love
she starts
languages.
doing the quiz with this guy, and I'm like, oh my god, how timely is that?
She heard us.
She did hear
She
us.
heard our
See, so we're
podcast.
getting out to the crowd.
Well,
So
we are.
We are.
A million people listen to this tonight.
And we talked about how much money is spent on Valentine's Day. We talked about the amount of money that's spent on weddings.
You had like a million statistics on
I have more
everything.
today, let me tell you. Oh, and you know what? Some of these are actually quite interesting. I actually got a little bit tied up on the internet looking at some of the expenditure that we have on things.
Before we talk about that, can I tell you something?
Yes.
It's had a big week.
Yes.
Week highlight.
Yes.
Actually, too many.
What happened, Andrew?
Aaron Sansoni, who's this mate of a book.
I've met Aaron.
He is fucking.
I've met him.
He is the man.
He's a little bit of an evangelist. If you watch him on conference, he's very preachy. He's Jimmy Stewart.
Absolutely.
And
I'm okay with that. Yeah, because I resonate with that.
Pumped. Yeah, and he is very much your type
of presenter. I better remember we've got to put people's names up.
Yeah, do you want to
at?
Yeah, Aaron Sansoni. There he is.
Is that him there? Aaron Sansoni Foundation? No, let's just go Aaron Empire That's the second one down. No. Which one would you take?
One with the most. No, I'd do the one 36,000 likes would be him.
That'll do.
I'd say that would be him.
You rock.
Yeah.
So I did him.
That red button?
I know, I can't push red. So I went away to Aaron and sort of learned a lot about. So this year for me is content, and he builds empires based on content. You know, he spends $100,000 a month on Facebook ads. $100,000 a month. How's that? That's 1.2 mil a year. In case, if you can't do the math, 1.2 million a year on Facebook ads. No wonder Mark Zuckerberg
is
the
promotion
doing these
king.
ones. Aaron
he promotes himself
very well.
Very well.
So we're going to learn how to do that.
Okay.
Now, the best part though was the next night. Mark Boris in Brisbane.
I've met Mark Boris too.
Stop it.
He tells the best stories. He's had an incredible life.
Oh, and you know why it's so relevant to this story? 3 marriages. 3 marriages, 4 kids. And
he's told the Donald Trump story. Has he told you that with the cigar? Yeah.
Not yet. I saw the photo.
With the cigar.
I think I've heard it on a podcast.
He actually told that at one of our conferences he spoke at. So.
Right. What was interesting though, can I share a quick message or two that I got out of that conference just before this? Because how do you be that successful in work and have 3 marriages break down? Talking through that, I can't get my head around that.
Well, it probably goes back to what we said last week. What are you investing in your relationship?
Obviously, what a stupid question! A silly question I just asked. Because if you're at work all the time, you can't invest in your relationship.
Well, to get to that level. Without a balance, it's going to affect something in your life, and unfortunately, in a lot of cases where someone is so wrapped up in their work, it's the relationship that ends up suffering out of everything. And you know why? Because a lot of people become complacent and they just go, "Oh, he'll tolerate it. She'll tolerate it." Maybe? Yeah, well, she can see how busy I am, or he can see how busy I am. She can see that I'm working hard to bring a living in. She can see
makes it okay.
But especially when there's travel involved, with one partner going away for work a lot. You can sort of see how that puts pressure on temptation. There's a lot of things that happen, and I see it time and time again. And ironically, I can't even tell you after last week the messages that I got from people who actually said, I just watched your live video and was in tears because it actually brought to their attention, there was some people who were having major issues in their relationships.
Have you saved some relationships?
Well, I don't know if I've saved some, but we probably brought to a lot of people's attention to ask themselves the question on what are they actually investing time and money-wise into their relationship.
That was your whole goal with all that research. I'm actually going to tag.
It was a bit sad because there was a couple of people I know well that messaged me. I had no idea they were having issues with their relationship, and obviously I'm not disclosing any names or anything.
Of course not.
But to actually know that it made them question how much them or their partner, they actually had just and a couple of people are at the end that they're ready to go. It's pretty much the end of they're just saying it made me look back over the whole relationship and I asked myself the question, how did we get to this point, and what was going on in our lives for us to spend so much time investing in sport and work and everything else.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm deadly serious. I'm deadly serious. I can't tell you the messages that I've got from that video. Yeah. It's just
spun out.
I'm actually and it's it was very sad, but it's also
it's tragedy.
It's also what have you done?
I'm trying to find a couple of. I want to tag them.
So Yeah, I was a bit intrigued by the amount of people that obviously were.
So what's the message? What did you take away from that?
I suppose that we got the message out there that I wanted to get out there was people questioning, and I certainly wasn't looking at it for. Last week wasn't about me trying to be an expert. It was just bringing statistics to people's attention
That's what
about.
you're doing.
And today we want to talk about the video that we ended last week talking about, which was the Will Smith video, which Anton has actually posted the link to. If you haven't watched it yet, I strongly recommend that you watch it. But I've taken some notes on what he actually says because you watched it, didn't you? You watched it.
I've watched a lot of his stuff.
So the video actually is really, really well said, and it's about a conversation Will Smith had with his wife Jada, and he starts by actually saying that they were having a conversation. Just written some notes. Yeah, I typed out the video.
A few notes. I just
I actually just typed because the one of the videos that you can look up is subtitled. So I was actually writing a few notes to make sure I didn't forget to. So he was talking to his wife Jada, and they were reflecting about love. And he actually asked her what she thought was her biggest revelation that she had about love. And she came back and said her biggest revelation was you cannot make someone happy. So that then led to, he said, you can make a person smile, you can make a person feel good, you can make a person laugh. But whether or not a person is happy is deeply and totally and utterly out of your control.
And up to them.
Out of your control.
Absolutely.
So he said he remembered the day that he retired from trying to make his wife happy.
Yeah.
And he told her he retired. He said, I retire from trying to make you happy. And he said,
Chelsea?
Oh, yeah, hi, Chelsea. He said, I need you to go out and make yourself happy and then come back to me.
And then we'll be happy together.
So he said they had come to a false romantic concept that somehow when they got married that they would become one. But what they realised was that they were two completely separate people on two completely separate individual journeys, and that they were choosing to walk their separate journeys together. And that's what we spoke about last week. And her happiness was her responsibility, and his happiness was his responsibility. So they decided they were going to find their individual, internal, private, separate joy, and then present themselves to the relationship and to each other already happy.
And it was deep and meaningful.
It was. And so the whole, I think I took from that what we talked about. What are you investing in your relationship? If you aren't individually happy and individually making yourself happy and investing, I believe that's part of investing time in your relationship, because we're not responsible for filling each other's cups.
No.
So, he talks about we didn't want to come to each other with our empty cups, begging for each of them to fill each other's cups,
Yep.
And it actually astounds me when I started looking more into, one of the challenges you sent me last week.
Yeah.
You sent me a challenge and you said, how much do we actually invest in counselling and coaching?
Well, you
actually asked me.
me.
No, you said that's what we're going to do this week is find out, because I kept asking,
that's right.
what do we invest?
That's right. No,
do you know what? You can't find that figure anywhere.
Because we don't. Because it doesn't even rate. Because it's not important enough.
Well, I believe it's a combination. A lot of the places that I went to, they offer free counselling. Churches, Relationships Australia, a lot of it's means tested.
So therefore you don't have to invest.
So money-wise, and I couldn't even find a statistic on how many people actually go to. What I could find was surveys they'd done where they'd surveyed a group of people and found out, what it is, statistics of what the success rate is of people who go to.
What is the success rate?
So they said that, and there's no set, this is how many relationships lasted, but they actually said that 75% of people who seek. And remember, we talked about coaching and counselling. So counselling is usually at the end, things have turned to shit.
Yep. We've got to fix this shit.
We've got to fix this. Right. And
whereas coaching is, we're going, okay, let's get better.
Yeah. So counselling-wise, the percentage of people that actually continued in the relationship and continued to try. So
we'll
with
do, John. Give us 30
counselling,
seconds.
Yeah, we will definitely, John. So the percentage of people that the relationship continued for a while after or long term was 50% of counselling.
Wow. So counselling saves relationships, huh?
But the percentage of people who were doing coaching, so actual throughout their relationship learning about how to communicate and how to communicate effectively, was 75%.
Right.
So
see, that makes sense. But that's a no-brainer.
It is, but it also begs the question: how many people actually choose to get training throughout the relationship on how to be better at it?
Not many. So
You usually wait till it turns to shit,
so therefore,
and then you go get counselling.
what I would say is that the percentage of people in Australia, let's say, that go and get counselling would be higher, way higher, than those that get coaching.
And that probably goes back to the statistic on the divorce rate.
That's right.
So, because it
like
stands to reason,
1 in
if
2
you
or
get
2 in
counselling
3?
when things go bad and you're close to the divorce end of the relationship, there's more chance of that figure being higher.
So what was the divorce rate you told us last week?
Between 50 and 60% is the
Holy
average
shit!
of marriages.
So therefore, and that just spins me out, because I just don't know too many people that have breakups, and I meet someone and go, shit, really? I'm lucky enough that I've been surrounded by long-term married people.
The one thing that I thought was probably a positive statistic was it's the survey, and this is based on a survey, so this isn't a general figure. They actually surveyed a certain amount of people who went to counselling, so 2,000 couples or whatever. So they said that 1 in 4 couples that attended counselling, the relationship ended.
Because they got an enlightening moment.
And that's obviously just
like
for that period of counselling. There'd be people who broke up later on, but the counselling actually gave them that longevity as far as more time together to work things out and the tools that they needed to effectively communicate through the issues they were having.
Geez, you're a wealth of knowledge,
Oh, it's just really interesting.
You're like a little encyclopedia.
Oh, but you know what? This is a little bit...
Just hold on. Choppy close.
Hey, Choppy.
Mate, he's down there on the Gold Coast.
Oh, Robert Johnson.
Robbie Johnson.
Jason.
Remember Jacko, the dude that I told you about? My old mentor.
Oh, Kelly. Hey,
Kelly. We love Kelly so much. And Jason Paul McMillan, all the way from Nudgee College.
All the Nudgee boys are coming out to
Tony.
play. Hey, Tony.
Hello, mate. So, where are we at this week? Talk me through it.
Oh, so I just was looking up, and this ASIC report actually came up, so I thought this is actually based on people's spending
habits.
So when we were talking about last week what people invest in sports and business coaching, and I actually found these figures actually
Business
quite
coaching
mind-blowing.
Would be amazing.
So this is actual household spending. So when we're breaking down to what's important in your life and what you spend your money on as a household.
Well, you can tell what people's priorities are. Look at the receipts.
Well, you can on this, because look at that. This is
Alcohol.
actually the figures for last year for the household spending, okay? Oh, sorry, in 2016. That was the most recent survey I could find. So this is through ASIC. So this is
True.
Yeah. Statistics. So it says in 2016, Australian households spent $666 billion on general living costs.
That's a bad number for a start.
Well, it is, but look at
Do you know
this.
what, you know what 666 means, don't you? Don't you know what 666 means?
Yeah, I know, devil.
Ooh.
It is when you see that. So on meat and seafood, they spent $12.6 billion on meat and seafood.
Go the butchers.
Yeah, but they spent They spent more money on alcohol and tea and coffee
than on meat.
Well, alcohol was 14.9 billion dollars on alcohol, and they only spent 1.6 billion on tea and coffee. $14.9 billion on alcohol.
That's literally 10 times now.
10 times more on alcohol than tea and coffee.
So I've got to buy a pub, not a coffee shop.
Yeah, that's what I think. And $65 billion on cars compared to $2.7 billion on public transport. Which makes sense because cars are expensive.
But 65.8 billion.
But obviously the point of this was, okay, what are we spending our money on? If we're not spending it on coaching and investing in relationships, and we're spending it on alcohol and cars, apparently.
The two high priorities. Michelle Sykes, thanks for joining us. Craig Gunning, thanks for joining us. John Sorotti, ask your partner and children this question. If I was to love you more, what would it look like? Yeah. And I asked Jules.
Totally, John. Totally.
Well, here's same sort of question. How do you want to be loved? Ooh, and that
love language.
Back to love languages.
Love languages.
And even a step further is, like, how do you want to be loved intimately? Like, you know, I know because I asked her, she sort of told me, so I know we don't kiss her and I know we don't touch her, and, you know, and they're good things to know because, you know, intimacy at the end of the day, if you haven't got intimacy in your relationship, I tell you what, your relationship's going to go down pretty quickly.
Especially if one of your love languages is the touch one.
Physical
because,
touch,
yeah,
which it is.
And that's one of the love languages we spoke about.
Yeah.
And you know what, we went back, we touched last week on,
touch, so to speak.
Pardon the pun. We touched on me coming up with the idea to do these relationship lives because I've started seeing a relationship coach.
And you're not even in a relationship.
No,
so
I'm not
great.
even in a relationship.
Really cool.
So I believe, and that on the question that John's just said, that has been one of my biggest issues, is my lack of the ability to communicate what I actually want.
Holy shit.
Because remember I said I'm a people pleaser, so I've always been a people pleaser. So I will just do stuff and
to please others,
well,
not to please yourself.
It's more about me feeling comfortable with actually saying, you know, I don't like it when you do that, or could we do this a different way, or you know what I mean? And I'm not talking, you know,
I get that.
I'm talking about in general. So, you know, I think when you are a person who is more likely just to put up with things to make everyone happy and not rock the boat. Yeah. That's exactly right. Intimacy is into me. See.
Into me, see, what's that mean?
Means you're into me. See.
Oh,
into me. See. Yeah, I've heard that before.
I haven't.
So I think,
thank you, John.
I think being able to communicate what your needs are, which is the love language thing we keep coming back to.
Look, it's such a great little thing.
And I actually have started reading the book again, because after you asked me what my love language was, I really couldn't clearly say what it was. But I think after being in messy relationships,
and then you gave me a hard time about my love language.
Well, I just said I actually rewatched the video.
I didn't, but I still remember it because I'm quite hurt by that. Just because I want a few words of affirmation. Thanks for doing that load of washing.
I know. Thanks for doing it. It was funny that.
Oh, really?
God, yes. Yeah, I think it was funny.
That's good. I'm glad.
But I watched the video back and I laughed at my response, because I actually said to you
that
all five. Yeah, but I said all five actually look really good to me.
Yeah,
I couldn't actually
right.
really
do the survey because they all look great.
Yeah.
But you're gonna
But
feel
I've read it before, but I've never.
No, but do the survey.
Oh yeah, but now I've been through everything I've been through. I don't actually think if I'd have answered that 5 years ago,
we changed, girl.
I don't think that my answer would be the same as it is.
No, it wouldn't
today.
be. And I'm the same. The way I look at it, Malka, Insight. Okay, so let's give John a plug here. So John runs Insight Men's Group and Insight something. So get on Insight.
He does men's sessions, group sessions, and women's sessions, and then group sessions, like couple sessions. Yeah, so men and women sessions.
Tammy, simple thing touch is such a simple gesture that can invoke so much joy.
That's so true, Chris.
Or, Tammy, let's go the opposite. It's like everything, man. It's like electricity. It's like water. You can change a life, or guess what? You can upset someone. Just ask a Catholic priest. You know, ask a kid that's been.
Ask a single 47-year-old woman, because I'm telling you,
Can I tell you? Hold on. Sure. Sorry, I shouldn't say sure. Listen.
No, you shouldn't say goes out on the drink.
I
go out and dance. I have a drink.
You're loud. No, I was in Brizzy the other day. Have you heard of a lady called Hetty Johnson?
That name is familiar.
Yeah, guess what? Get this. This broke my heart, man, when I heard this. So, I've got to tell you the story. Ian Johnson and Hetty Johnson had a 6-year-old girl, and they touched, and they were in New Zealand. They touched down New Zealand. The dad knew something was wrong, so he asked his daughter, "Has someone been touching me?" And she said, "Yeah, Poppy."
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that? Turns out Poppy was touching the dad's sister, you know, the niece. Like all
my God!
I know, tragedy, man, tragedy, and I never go to the negative. So the positive in this story is that they started up this. I just wish I could remember it.
Is it a group like a?
It's a fundraising.
Yeah.
Thing,
Okay. Yeah.
For kids who have been violated, obviously.
That's
right. Dream something.
Yeah. I have heard the.
Can you help
me?
I'll
look it up.
Yeah. Just Google Hetty Johnson.
You keep talking
because I want to put a link on here, and I'll tell you why. So, and Tammy, I really get your point, mate. You're absolutely right, brother. If you touch someone right, and in the professional space, you know, you got to be so careful. And I'm going to tell you right now, just so you know, body language is the safest place professionally to touch someone is on the elbow. Just so Alan Pease will tell us, because it's such a neutral part of their body, right? Even shoulders are a bit dodgy, hands really dodgy, but elbows are safe, just from a professional perspective. So there's body language.
I'm not spelling her name right.
H-E-T-I Johnson.
Oh, H-E-T. Sorry.
And so I don't want to poo-poo what Tammy was saying, because Tammy's one of the best lads in Australia. He's another good-looking bald man. The thing about it, I was waiting for it. Sarah Ford. Not that I even actually cared, because I don't even have to worry about it anymore. I haven't had to worry about it for 25 years. But
yeah, I can't find it.
So Ian Johnson, right? So that's something like kids or something. He's running 7 marathons in 7 states
Wow.
in 7 days to
What?
raise money for this thing.
Wow.
Someone's bloody giving us some angry stuff. They probably just got to the Hetty Johnson bit. Now,
Oh, yeah, it's a bit delayed.
what I love about Ian Johnson, right? So he's on the radio, and these two blokes, Mardo and whatever, because I'm listening to Brisbane radio the last couple of days, and he says to him, get this, he's cracked me up. He says, like, he's going to run 7 marathons in 7 states in 7 days. Now,
Is that actually safe
no,
for your body?
not for this bloke, because he says,
wow.
and this is Thursday morning, because I'd actually done a 10K run that morning, and so had he, strangely enough. And he said, I finally got to 10Ks, like at one time. So he's
Oh
run
my
10Ks
God.
at one time.
Never done that before.
No. And
Wow.
Mardo says to him, and it sounded exactly like something one of my mates had said to me. You know, a marathon's 42K, bro. You know, yes, I do. I'm going to do 7 of them. And he can only run 10K at the
Not
moment.
confident.
Isn't that
That is.
but like, here's the deal. When I heard that, if you've got a big enough why, like, he'll get through that. He'll walk it. He'll jog it. He'll probably crawl some of it. He'll do whatever it takes, right? He'll get blisters. He's going to learn about chafing.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to learn about hydration and nutrition.
Yeah.
But he's got such a big why. So his dad went to jail for 22 months. 22 months.
That would be heartbreaking for the whole
Never
family.
spoke to him again.
No, why would you?
Once he found out. No, of course not. But, you know, I just love what that's turned into. It's just such a positive story, and just made me think about it. Then
And to actually like start something so positive after
something so
having
tragic.
something so awful to
And
deal with.
she's 30 now, the girl. And
Yeah.
she works in the foundation.
Wow.
And she's like social
Oh,
media.
good on her. Wow,
Isn't
that's
that
really brave.
Anyway, off that, I just love the story.
Hi, Sarah and Catherine. Welcome, and thanks for joining us. Now, John, we're going to talk a little bit about Insight. So, John runs the group Insight Circle for men and women, and he does the groups and individual. It's not so much counselling, I don't think, John, is it? It's support, and John gives tools for. And there he is. Put the contact details up there. So is that every? Oh, it's got next Thursday night. So can you just put up there, maybe, John? What is there? I think you've got a set time every week that you meet for those groups at 19 Dalrymple Drive at 6:30. And John, if you want to put up a contact number, that would be great, so people can actually contact you, and hopefully we'll get the word out as to what you actually do offer. We have spoken a lot last week about the fact that women tend to be the instigators of getting coaching or counselling. And I know that John is a really big advocate for men knowing that there is somewhere that they can go and get that sort of help and coaching. And he's helped a lot of people. So just make sure that everyone is aware of John's group. And if John wants to put up his contact details just so that people know how to get in touch with him. So there you go, every second Thursday at 6:30. And just how people can contact you, John, would be great, because I think it's really important for everyone just to look, I suppose, at the last 2 weeks, today and yesterday, today and last Friday.
Eddie Johnson found it.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Braveheart.
is.
That's it. Oh, that's why I have to.
Thank you, Leanne. I'm going to go
Bravehearts.
on and donate. I shit you not.
Yeah,
I
what
just
a
haven't
great-
got around to it yet. I will definitely donate. I want to go and run the marathons.
That's a great foundation, and it's just something really
Isn't that
amazing coming out of such a horrific story.
Isn't that great?
And a lot of people, we talked a lot about people sharing their stories and being brave.
Absolutely.
And you'd have to be really brave to share all of that, because that's very, very
And he
personal.
talks about it, man. And so does she.
And to know how that's actually affected so many people, because it would have ripped that family apart, what that man did.
And do you know how Greg Martin, I think, was how he came across him? They were just sitting in the shed one day having a beer with Ian Johnson, and he just happened to say, "Oh, what's your story, man?" So I told him the story. So spun out. He said, "I'll bring him on the radio, and we'll help raise some money."
Wow,
for it.
that's great.
And then Mardo took his car in for a service. Get this, a Kiwi, and so the Johnsons are Kiwis. So he said, "Oh, I've met Ian Johnson the other day." He said, "Oh yeah, I've heard the name." Gets him on the phone. The mechanic says, "I love that story so much. Instead of paying me the $1,600 to fix your gearbox, go and donate it to that."
That's amazing.
What all?
So many
Stories
people-
build.
Yeah, yeah.
Stories just build on each other.
And there are a lot of foundations that have started like that. And when you look at
Daniel Malcolm.
oh, absolutely. And what's the lady whose son was killed by the ex-partner? She started
At the cricket. Was she Australian
Yeah.
Australian of the Year?
Yeah, I think she started a foundation as well, didn't she?
Rose. Yeah.
It was. It was. I think it was.
She was amazing. She did.
But a lot of
really good
foundations have started off the back of that. And John's just put up his contact details there. So 0418 76657. And he's got some help with some team leaders. But contact John. He has got
stuff going
so
on.
much,
Man.
so much that he can offer people for counselling and coaching.
That's right.
And
one of the best, Johnny.
definitely great to follow up with that from last week. Cheers.
Thank God the cheers again.
It was after last week when, and
Those
I think
chairs.
John. I'm not sure if you watched our video last week, John, because I'm not sure if you. I don't think you were able to make it live, maybe. But definitely all the chairs. Definitely worth looking at what you can do to invest some time and money and into your relationship. And I think one of the best things you can do is purchase that book and read it, The 5 Love Languages, as a good start. And
John
I think people like John are really...
Batty found, that's it.
That's it.
Rosie Batty?
Thank you, Rosie Batty.
Thanks, Tammy.
Tammy.
Good on you, bro.
That's the one.
Go and check out
Yeah, because that's a really sad story too, and very hard for people to talk about that personal stuff and the journeys that they've been on through something.
There's your wine, buddy.
Alberto,
He
it
had
was
a
his
birthday.
Happy birthday, Alberto.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I hope you consumed a lot of wine.
Jinx person.
Yes.
So back to some deep shit like we were talking about last week. Because
There you go. John just said you can like Inside Tribe on Facebook.
I'm really interested in you, girl, because you've got me intrigued, like with this whole relationship
Oh,
stuff.
I just want to. I think to open up the conversation about it, and you know what? I seriously, and I thought about this week. Okay.
When you're watching
Because-
the video, when you gave me a hard time.
Well,
last week.
not just that, but when I was doing all this research, and I've got heaps of stuff that I've learnt out of it, and a lot of it's been instigated by me getting this relationship coaching, because the statistics and figures that I'm hearing.
Can you bring her on?
No, I can't bring her on because it's not a local group. So,
Come on.
and it's a private group. So,
Let's bring
if anyone wants,
John on.
but if anyone wants to know about it, they can contact me privately.
Because I'm
But,
sure you'd put them in touch. You'd connect them.
I would, but I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to disclose details
That's okay.
because it's. But what I wanted to say was, when I was doing the research on this, and we had, I said
Thanks, mate.
last week we had the reasons
Why?
most people said that their relationship ended. So
And
the first one was they grew apart. Second one was
unfaithfulness.
abuse and cheating, and
it was
abuse and cheating. Yes.
That's right.
The
Forgot
third
abuse.
one was the addiction, and
That's right.
I actually looked further into that because I was thinking about the amount of people I've had to deal with the financial situation that's happened in Gladstone over the last couple of years. There was a stage where I had about 25 listings on my board, and 80% of those were relationship breakups. And the word...
Mellifont Street contract today signed.
Oh, God, thank God. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank
Let's
you.
not jinx this one.
Oh, I know.
So the statistics that I was reading when I looked at, I thought, what does that mean? We grew apart. So I'm thinking I'm going to look further into this. What are the... Well, when I looked further and dug deeper on the statistics, and I actually went on to Relationships Australia, and they talked about the different things in a relationship that will actually cause the problems that end up leading to them saying we grew apart. Okay.
Or
Financial strain
financial strain
is one of the biggest things in a relationship.
Been there, done that.
Because
Been there,
when you
done
look at, if you looked at it like a pyramid, okay, the financial strain up here can then lead to the anger, bitterness, the looking out of the box for somebody who's, more fun than your wife who's stressed all the time. And so the cheating begins, and you know what I mean? So when you look at the actual peak of...
What's really sad about that, right? And I'm going to share something really, really personal.
If you'd
I want to,
Okay.
because I don't think Jules will mind me sharing this. She doesn't watch these anyway.
She's been on a couple of times to check if you needed a pallet.
Only to see what I only to
She
see
asked
what I
if you
want for
needed a
dinner.
pallet at the
That's
Tanham
right.
Nursery once.
That's right. She the problem is, so if I was to ask you in a relationship, is it the male or the female do you think that's got the big vision, the big dreams, in general terms? I'm not talking, because I know you're a visionary. in general terms, who goes out and takes risks? Who's generally the risk taker? Generally.
Probably the man.
Probably the man.
Well, yeah.
Generally, right? It might be 51%. It's
Yeah,
in general terms.
Yeah. And a lot of times I think that's more to do with the ability to be able to do that.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think men are just goal driven, you know, and because it stokes our ego and all that, you know, it's words of affirmation, love language, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The psychology behind it. So in general terms, and so in my relationship, my loving wife, what happened was, when you lose your life's fortune, you know, when you lose a couple of mil, it's quite obvious and it's quite open and honest, and you can't really hide it.
No, you can't.
So and
it affects every aspect of your life and relationship.
And it's easy to say that, just go, it affects everything. What happens is, as I've experienced, the worst thing that can happen, this is so painful for me, I've got to tell you, the wife blames the hubby. Now, and I never would have thought that'd be the case. But for a wife who's financially secure, then to have nothing and to start rebuilding again at 40, let's say, 42, 43. But when you, hey, SJ, how are you, love? Go the bloody restaurant there.
71 Wharf.
So to go from sort of the penthouse to the shit house, and plenty of people did it in Gladstone, I can tell you.
Oh God, I know. I met most of them. So.
And yeah, I know you did. And I've spoken to some of the wives recently. One of them's my masseur. She's same thing. It's like finger pointing. It's like this. You suck. And you get this. You put us in this position. It's your fault. Now that, don't worry about, it puts a bit of strain on shit. Man, it's fucking personal. Like it
is. I have to say that's not in every case.
Oh, no, I know.
Obviously from your personal experience. I had a conversation with...
Because it's not always that big, right?
Well, it's also different in every sector, because I'm telling you, I'll tell you a couple of situations, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry that you had to go through that.
No, don't be sorry. It's a great experience.
The phoenix rising from the ashes.
Absolutely. Bring it on.
So I think it's different for what stage of life you're at.
Yeah,
I think it's different for how badly you got burnt. If you can recover and say, okay, I've got this shortfall, but I can cope with it.
That's right.
I've had people who are ready to retire who saw financial advisors 6 or 7 years ago. They said buy 4 houses in Gladstone.
And they shouldn't have got loans.
They shouldn't. And this is why the Royal Commission's happening. But they actually, they are at the stage of their life where their husband, wife, they should be getting ready for retirement, enjoying the fruits of their labour. They've worked hard their whole lives. Now, these people have sat in front of me and they have no choice but to go bankrupt. So if you've lost $100,000 on one house, you can usually recover from that.
Right. Absolutely.
You're at pre-retirement age. You've got 4. You've lost $200,000 on each of those houses. There is zero chance of you getting out.
That's right.
And most of them have been forced into bankruptcy because of that. And they got to work till they die because they've got no money.
No, that's right. And I get that. Yeah.
So how can that not put a strain on a relationship?
And it will. I can tell you it will. And I can tell you also, deep down inside one of their hearts, there's going to be finger pointing, because as a human species, we like blaming.
We do, but that's where a lot of the problems will start. Because whether you actually communicate that I'm blaming you or not, if you're feeling it, then it's affecting your relationship, isn't it? So,
And it took Jules a little while to actually admit it. And then we had to go away and do some personal development together for her to actually say, well, you know what, we're in this together, chicken. And
that's great that you did
you're
that.
Forgiven.
That's great that you did that.
Because that was a weight off my shoulders when that actually happened, because I tell you what.
I think it also comes down to people's personalities, because I spoke with a couple today and I've got their house for sale. They bought in the boom as an investment property. They actually were given the wrong advice, like everyone who bought in this area. But they have never been here. They've actually never seen this house. They were taking advice from a marketeering company at the time who told them that Gladstone was going to boom, this house was going to be worth $1 million. They found out a lot of things since, the bust has happened, where the marketeering company were getting
naughty
$30,000 referral fee that wasn't disclosed to them.
Of course.
When you actually look at that on a multiple scale, and I'm just one real estate agent in town, so I've dealt with a percentage of these people. you multiply that by 100.
And I know most of the real estate agents.
Yeah, and everyone's, I know I'm good friends with a lot of them, and I'm telling you now, we've all been through that. I actually said to this client of mine this morning, because she said, how awful for you, because I kept actually reassuring her, and you know, I've had to say this to so many people. I honestly, if it helps, you're not alone. Like everyone is going through this. I think 80% of houses that sold last year were the figures that just came out actually sold for less than what was owed on them.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Way less.
And way less than what they bought them for.
And 60% less.
Is this? Am I looking at that window right? Can you see that?
Yeah, it's it closed down. So there's naked models in the window. So actually, sadly enough, there's been 3 or 4 businesses closed in Gladstone this week.
What are the other ones?
So the video shop at the Night Owl. It's our last video shop.
Have we got no video shop?
No video shop. So
Netflix
or the little kiosks. They still have the little Video Easy kiosks in some places where you put the money in and a DVD comes out. So it's like a vending machine.
Mark Boris told a great story last night about Mark Boris. Might have been on his name. Did you know how Netflix was invented?
Go on, I'd love to hear that story.
So
I have no idea.
The owner of Netflix, Greg, I think his first name is. We could probably Google it. Goes down to his local Blockbuster Video, and he was a day late. And he had no money.
They fined him.
So, do you know late fees brought down the video industry?
Oh.
Do you know why? Because their revenue was something like 75% late fees.
Wow.
That's why when Netflix,
did he get the shits then about the late fee and he went and started Netflix? Do you know Anton Guinea? That video killed the radio star.
And did you know someone wrote a song about that?
I know they did. We sang last.
The radio star. We should have a song each week. That's what we should have.
We should. That's our song for the song of the week at the Lightbox. Live music at the Lightbox.
Music, come and listen to us.
So yeah, the video shop closed down, but I kind of can get that.
Oh, me too. It's a dying industry.
Ironically,
can I tell you?
Do you get charged a fee? Yeah, but do you get charged a late fee if you bring our book back to the library late? Have you ever borrowed from? Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering why the libraries haven't closed down if that's the case. Hey, good. How are you?
It's very deep. Belinda,
I don't know. It's just a funny question.
I found a real estate guide from 2008 the other day. I was surprised by how high the prices were even back then. Do you know what?
Hey, Belinda.
VG late today, brother. You sure are. Whereabouts?
Belinda's daughter's one before.
Sorry?
Belinda.
Who's Belinda? Belinda, right? Yeah. She's her.
Ryan's wife.
Was that the guy that was here? It's this girl's mum. The 2 girls that we had today.
I didn't know their surname.
Belinda. I didn't know their surname. Yeah. Oh, your daughters did so well, Belinda. What I was going to...
VG's late today.
So you know our house. Yeah, you're right. And Belinda. So 2008. So our house is worth now what we paid for it in 2003. It's gone back 15 years. That's why 2008 seems high, because it's gone back further than that.
I can totally see how it's shocking when Belinda says that, and when you look back at what
just is.
What your house is worth now. Because Belinda, I had a big office clean out this week, and I found a heap of old property guides, and I was actually looking at houses and what they were advertised at the time. And I, as a real estate agent, when I drive past houses or when people have sold houses,
yes, she is the
too.
Yeah, you should be very proud.
And I'm coming over for dinner.
Oh yeah,
because
she's a good cook.
She's a good
I know.
cook.
That's if she gets off the exercise, the yoga.
They're beautiful, Belinda. They did a great job.
They are, mate. Go back and watch this video, Belinda,
please,
because we're going to.
Sorry, I kind of just mentioned that Belinda was their mum, but then I went, maybe I shouldn't.
Oh no,
maybe
I could see you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe
this is body language.
Maybe
body
they
language
don't
101.
Maybe they don't want them to know their last name, and I thought if I say that, everyone's going to know the girl's last name.
This means that you've got something.
Yeah, because I was, because I'm like,
what songs are this?
Oh, that's good. Thanks, Belinda. No, because I just went, oh, maybe if I mention that.
I've been watching quietly since everyone got home and told me about the podcast.
Some people are funny like that. Some people are funny about that. So back to the video shop thing. Okay. I reckon there's a lot of industries that have closed down because of what you just said.
Disruption. Oh, no, because of just someone getting pissed off.
Well, if they're making money from late fees and not...
I know.
Look at newspapers.
Oh, I know.
Newspapers don't make money from the sale of newspapers, do they?
You know what they make money from?
Advertising.
No.
Yes.
Lotto.
The newspaper.
That's where...
No, not news agent. No, I mean a newspaper.
Newspapers.
No, I get that. If newspapers wholly and solely depended on the sale of newspapers, they'd go broke straight away.
But what else?
Thanks, Belinda. Sorry, I just wanted to make
No,
sure.
that's all good, guys. And Big Girl. So
Hey, big girl.
let's have a think about for a sec. Let's put our business hats on just for a sec
Because
we're
news
gonna get boring.
agencies are a really good. I don't know.
Okay, let me give you some stats that'll spin you out.
Okay.
So if I was a news agency owner, I wouldn't be happy at the moment. I would be that people gamble because that was what supports that industry.
How can they make money without Lotto? Hey,
You can't.
You can't. Newspapers, magazines, and cards aren't going to keep your doors open.
What do you think keeps pubs open?
Well, alcohol apparently.
Well, yeah, but can I tell you something?
What keeps?
If what's not on there? Slot machines.
Pokies.
Pokies.
Yeah. How sad is that?
Oh, tragic. What keeps? Here's one for you. What keeps the local 7-Eleven up here? The little grocery
The
shop.
slushy machine. Surely.
Yeah.
Frozen Coke.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, well,
cigarettes.
And
75%
service
of their
stations
revenue.
are probably the same because I don't think they make much out of petrol, do they? Service stations actually don't make a large amount.
They're only a retail.
And the convenience items are way the markup is
huge. Now, where do pubs make all their money? Soft drink, because it costs them nothing to pour you a soft drink and beer. And and of course pokies. Here's another stat for you: the best businesses in the world, the most profitable businesses in the world, give away their product, give away their core business.
So give me some examples. G'day, how are you? Good, how are you?
What product are we using here now?
What, Facebook?
How much have you paid to do this video?
Nothing.
How much is Mark Zuckerberg worth?
Billions and billions.
Where's he got all his money?
Advertising.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing, like someone like Aaron Sansoni at 100 grand a month, multiply that by 100 people, and all of a sudden you got.
But you know what? I have a thing about Facebook because why do people advertise on Facebook? Why do they spend money?
Do you know why? Because they get so much freaking business out of it. Because
they get views. So
no.
They actually have eyes on ads. They advertise because they actually have people see their ads.
Yeah, but you know why?
Why do people?
But do you know why they have eyes on ads?
Because
they've got your data and they know what you clicked on and they know what you like.
That as well as they created something that people can't do without.
Oh,
people
absolutely.
can't do without Facebook.
No, I get that,
but they do.
But
you know, they reckon that if you're speaking your phone now,
yeah,
it'll actually bring up.
I've had it happen.
It's all the algorithms and.
So it's so targeted. Think about Parkrun. I'm going to go to Parkrun tomorrow.
They own every piece of your information.
I know. Facebook too. Parkrun, not free service. You can turn up every Saturday morning anywhere on the planet, and at 7 a.m. sometimes at 8
There's a parkrun.
There's a free parkrun that times you, that tracks how many parkruns you've done. Blah 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 blah.
Is that like an app? Has Parkrun got an app thing? Okay.
You get an email every week.
Because you know I don't do the running thing.
No, that's right. Free service.
Yeah.
They sell other stuff like clothes. You know, it's amazing when you actually drill down into business and the psychology behind business and how people get into it and actually how they get it started and make it happen. Dennis and Rhonda Houston, did I get that right this week? I think I said that.
Hey guys.
So anyway, there's just a bit of a look at the behind.
I think that's interesting. It's way off topic, but it is. Yeah. And the other thing that I think, what was the other business that closed down this week?
Don't know. I'm asking you.
So that one over the road.
Which is a shame, because I love girlies dress shops. And I never took Jules up there. I've got a lot to be thankful for that business for, because I met my graphic designer in there. She had a card on the counter. She was doing the graphic design.
See, marketing.
My web girl, not marketing, man. Do you know what's the biggest industry on the planet? You reckon?
Tell me.
Guess the most expenditure in what? How are you? Good.
What is the most expenditure?
Building. I'm sorry. Marketing. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It is the most invested in service product.
That makes sense. It does, because you can't sell a secret.
That's right.
You can't sell a secret.
And people are Jenny Haywood, New Zealander.
Hey, Jenny.
People are obviously, we all invest in marketing. You know, that's how you grow.
But we don't invest in our relationships.
Back on topic.
See how we did that big circle there? We're back.
I wrote a LinkedIn article this week about segueing.
We're back.
I've got to go to dinner.
You do have to go to dinner.
Last week, this is an hour. I got in a lot of trouble last week.
Oh, did you?
Because I forgot.
There was a really funny statistic on here I wanted to show you about chocolate.
Do you want to talk me through it?
Yeah, I was just trying to find it.
We eat a lot of chocolate. I don't know.
Give us something.
What is the tip?
Oh, look at you kissing your muscles.
I got none. I'm just kissing my biceps.
Oh, that's what. This is
all
just
about?
completely off
What's
topic,
going
but I
on?
thought this was funny. Tasmania spends nearly double what the Northern Territory spends on chocolate each week.
That's a good stat.
Look at look at the size of the state.
I know.
Tasmania versus Northern Territory.
I know. It's like that.
Yeah, they spend twice
But
as
there's
much
not
on
many-
chocolate.
Is there many? What's today's topic? Are you on topic? No, Vici, we're never
No, we're
actually
not.
really
We're
on
actually
topic.
not. We did a full circle, then we got back
Relationships,
to investing in relationships.
Vici, give us your top tip, my man, if you could, please, for being married. Like, you've been a 20-year married man. He's one of my great mates, this bloke. What's the secret, brother? One, you married well, because she's extremely patient. She's a beautiful girl, Mrs. Veach. She got big guns too, like you. She's got big guns going on.
You know what?
That's from
On
picking
my-
up triplets. She had
On my
triplets.
while Mark answers that question, on my big my big guns, I was bench pressing 20 kilos yesterday, and I couldn't believe that I've lost 4 times the weight of that bar. I was actually lifting 20 kilos, and I'm thinking, how does the human skeleton carry and function for 40 years, carrying that much? Oh, it's just amazing to me. The human body is amazing.
That's a very philosophical question.
Yeah, we did a full circle back to grateful 3 weeks ago.
We did.
The grateful one. We're grateful for our bodies. So.
We are.
You better wrap up if you got in trouble last week.
I've got to go because I've got to get to office.
Thanks for listening today. We kind of got a bit off topic, but we kind of brought it back round to we actually got back to back on topic.
We did.
So yeah, we've really I encourage everyone to watch that Will Smith video about happiness, and obviously look into what you are investing in your relationship.
Yeah.
Buy the 5 Love Languages book and read it. Do the quiz with your partner. I strongly recommend that.
As Jules and I did.
And
can you do the quiz by next week?
have conversation. I will
Could
do
you?
that. Yeah.
Well, how about you do the quiz and I'll do the quiz and we'll bring our books down.
we will. We will. That's a great idea.
Because I'll forget for sure.
Right.
We'll ask some of the questions out of it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We will bring it next year, and we'll look further into that, because obviously with the amount of feedback I've had from last week and the messages, and yeah,
Are we going to
I've
stay on topic with relationships
had
next week?
people. Well,
We're
we
going to do our love
will.
languages?
We will definitely. We'll.
All right. Oh, good stock. Yeah, good breeding. Oh, good stock. Yeah, you found a good girl. Patience.
I love how you
never
put
go
that, Mark.
never go to bed angry.
Oh, that's great advice.
So in other words, marry right,
communicate.
be patient, and never go to bed angry. That's pretty good advice.
And
from
I'd
Vici.
really,
He's a
I'd
deep
really
man.
like
He's a
some
deep
feedback
thinker.
on if anybody has started a conversation with their partner about, hey, come and watch this video that these guys did last week,
These
because
two peanuts a day.
I actually have so many people who have said to me, it's actually made me realise that we really don't invest a lot of time in making our relationship better. So
Can I tell you something?
I think it was, very well received.
So I say Janine Ellis, and you think? Boost juice.
Forget happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's good, Belinda.
Can I
That's
tell
so
you
true.
something? So I heard Janine Ellis this week too.
Mm.
You know what she said? You want to be successful in business? This was it, and this is quote unquote. You know, most business people get up there and they talk about, like Mark Boris did, what's your why, find your purpose, go and get an operation.
And then they sell you a book usually at the end of it.
Yeah, all that shit, and he sold a program, which I might even go to.
Aaron Sansoni's very good at that.
He's cool. Oh, he did, and he did well too. And
Oh,
I'm
he's-
going. I'm going to go. He sold me.
I have never
Yes.
been to a conference where someone has sold so much paraphernalia afterwards, and that's where I think he makes all of his
He would have done
money.
200 grand yesterday.
Oh,
on the
without
other.
a shadow of a doubt.
Now,
got
and
sucked
I'm
in.
okay. And
I
me
got
too.
sucked in when I saw him.
But like for me personally, he's how do you build an empire off the back of your content? Like, it's a perfect fit. Now, so I'm happy to pay for advice. Bring it on. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for support. Now, what's going to
Janine.
Oh, Janine Ellis, get this. So all these business gurus talk about stuff. You know what she said? I'm going to tell you the secret of business success. Marry well. Period. Marry well. That's what she said.
Okay.
I know, for someone that didn't, sorry,
No, I'm just thinking of what that actually means. Marry well. What does that mean?
means that she's found someone that will support her and walk over hot coals for her no matter what she does, where she goes. And they're in it together, is the way she explained it. Like me and Jules, in it together. Yeah, we had some rocky times, but she always says, I trust you, I support you, I've got your back, I'm here. We're in this together. And in the end,
I still don't think that's a guarantee that you will stay together, purely because a lot of people don't start a business or start growing and building bigger things until they're sort of a fair way through that relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the general foundation of that is to be with someone who will always trust and support you and communicate what you both want.
That's right.
So you can help each other grow and get better. And
Absolutely.
it goes back to, again, full circle, back to Will Smith's video.
Yeah.
You both go out and separately find your happiness
and then come back
and come
walk the
together
journey
and
together
walk
as
your
both
separate
happy
lives
people.
together.
I love that.
I do.
I just
love that video.
I just love the fact that Janine Ellis, Boost Juice, started with nothing. She was a pregnant single mum on David Bowie's boat. And she said, I'm going to give you the two extremes here. David Bowie, nice guy. What's his name? Waterworld guy, Kevin Costner.
Oh, yeah.
She's an arsehole. She knew all these famous people, right? So she leveraged it, and she talked about leverage. I just love the fact that she said, you want to do well in business? First thing. And then she went on to talk about the 10 rules of business. And then she said, marry well. Now, I've never... It was the last thing I'd expected to say.
But how would Mark Boris respond to that if he's been married 3 times? So
he'd probably agree. Because he'd say he never married well properly.
Yeah.
I don't know, did he or not?
I don't know. He
or
might be an arsehole to live with.
Get this.
He might be a bad husband.
You know what he said? He said last Sunday night's his anxiety night. Did I tell you the story?
No.
Sunday night's his anxiety night where he's all worried. Valley's boy. And he says, I'll try to reflect to get me out of anxiety on the good things that I've done on the day. On the Sunday specifically. And he said last Sunday night, he said, I was nice to my CEO today. I was an arsehole all week, but I was nice today.
So is that the day he sets aside for anxiety?
Yeah, Sunday night.
Is that what he's saying? Sunday night?
Pretty much. He said Sunday's night aside for anxiety.
He books it into his time management schedule to allow himself time to be anxious.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Oh, right.
So go back, guys, watch the Will Smith video, and thank you so much for joining us. And last week and this week, we're going to continue this conversation next week, and we are going to delve deeper into the 5 love languages.
Why they're your love languages.
And we're going to do the quiz.
What that means to you personally.
Yes. How long since you did that quiz, do you reckon?
6 months.
So let's do it again.
Update it.
And because it's been a few years for me. Yeah. So we're going to do that, and we're going to actually look at some parts of that book and see how we can actually help people to learn how to invest time into there.
And do you know what I want?
Obviously, John posted his details there before, so definitely contact him. He can very much help with relationships.
Absolutely. Oh, we haven't put 5 love languages in.
We did that last week.
Did we
We copied the link. Oh, we can copy. You can copy it this week because there's a lot of people who aren't.
Do you know what I want? I really want out of next week. I want to give people permission to say this is what you do, partner, spouse, loved one, significant other, to make me happy.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea because that's all a part of investing in making a relationship better.
Because you've got to, like, it's okay to ask. It's okay to say to your spouse or your partner, this is my love language.
And like I said, I've always struggled with that, communicating what you want and what you need.
I agree.
And I think that Love Languages book is going to help us delve into that a bit.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
I don't think you're the only one.
I'm sure I'm not. I'm sure a lot of people just want to make their partner happy, so they actually avoid and tiptoe around questions and making drama because they don't want to deal with it. So you're going to be late for dinner again.
I know, again. Well, so, listen, everyone out there in podcast land, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you later.
Ros,
and thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on our live again. And we will see you next Friday with some more.
We're going to delve deeper.
Love language.
We're going to get deep. What I'd love to know,
investing in your relationship,
as well as that, I'd love to hear from both sides of the part.
Absolutely.
If you've had a bust up, come and tell us about it because we want to learn and we want to share it.
And also, if you have a really good relationship with
that's what I was going to say.
Effective communication.
Finish on a positive.
Yeah.
Like we asked Vici.
Yeah.
We asked Vici, here it is, good stock. He's lucky he married well. And I'd say the same. I just married well. But I don't think it's that easy. You've got to sort of, there's a bit of different emotions there. You can't make everyone happy. Patience and never go to bed angry. You know, like, what is it for you? What are your 3 top things? Stewie, Mark, Vici, Spearsy, Ash Glass, Sykesy. What are the 3 big things for 20-year marriage?
That would be a really good thing to talk about. We'd love everyone's input next week. So join us at 4 o'clock on Friday at the Lightbox. And have a great week, everyone.
Hey, do you listen to the podcast too?
No. I listened to the video again in the car, which is like the podcast. Do you want me to listen to it so you've got more?
Do I just thought I just checked.
Do you listen to the podcast?
No.
You don't even listen to
I don't
it?
listen to videos,
No, I do.
which I should. This
Well, I
is
want to
for
watch.
everyone else,
I'm
not
going to
for
watch
me,
this
though.
back to watch those amazing young girls, Linda and Ryan's kids, girls, their daughters. They were amazing. I'm definitely watching that back, and I'd encourage everyone to share it just to see that part of the
I
video.
want to hire
They
them.
can stop it after us if. Oh, Michael Lee. Hi guys, we're just about to wrap up, so you better get to dinner. Have a great
Jules
week,
is gonna
everyone,
break
and
my
we
legs.
will see you next Friday.
Can't
Right. Take care.
see, girl.
Bye.
And good